Hey, well, hello everyone. Welcome to Noom Games live stream. Really excited to be here. I just have myself opened up on a screen beside me, and I think it's working. I'm not actually sure. Um, Let me just double check there, and then and then we'll be good. Hey, well, thanks for joining us. We're there. It is. Yeah, we're trying a new software here, and so far looks like it will do the trick. Got a little bit of a bad background, but that is all good. Hey, so a couple things. First, you'll notice that this is on the Games channel and not on the Stars of Acarios or Mythwind YouTube channels. We're doing a little bit of a what would it be called? Consolidation, merging, something. Basically, we're doing a little bit of a new direction for Games, kind of a unified way forward. And so, if you've been around in the Discord channel, you'll already see that. But basically, uh, oomgames.com. You can check it out. We're kind of restructuring around this idea of building worlds that players can discover and explore, which is really like as our theme, especially for Stars of Acarios and Mythwind. And if you're like, hey, what about the other games? Don't worry, they're not going anywhere. Our bestseller outside of Acarios and Mythwind, you can always go ahead and so No Escape, you can go to noescape.com and you can find that there. And I believe you can also find Battle Bears and Last One Standing also on No Escape. But going forward, Games, is about these kind of big box narrative driven experiences, which is, really neat. And so you can, take a look at all that stuff. Hey, thanks for joining us, everyone. If you have any questions, feel free to sound them off in chat. The plan for today, we're going to talk through kind of the status on Stars of Acarios, and then Mythwind, and we'll see we'll see where things go. Won't be an incredibly long, I guess stream, and I think we'll probably try to get this going on as a podcast as well for those who are unable to kind of join for the stream. But first thing first, Stars of Acarios. Let's chat about it. We were hoping and pushing, and our logistics guy Ray was really, really going hard to get the game in on boats before Chinese New Year. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. There's just, I think they finished. The last I was told, they finished around 4,000 copies of the game itself. And with those 4,000 copies, we were like, okay, hey, do we like send them to half of our backers or or what? And we decided to hold off so that we can ship everything at the same time. A couple reasons. One, so everyone gets the game, but also just for the fact that it is shipping and logistics is still kind of a nightmare. So here's what I've been promised by the factory. I have been promised that everything is on a boat March 15th. Okay. Everything is on a container, on a boat, March 15th. I hope to share the kind of like the tracking the freight numbers for Acarios once we get them. But there's a lot. There's a couple containers going to the States, a few to Canada, and a handful to the EU. There are many moving parts, and it's interesting how little we ended up charging for Acarios compared to like the actual compared to the actual I guess, I don't know what we should have charged. I'm looking at kind of like similar games. Yeah, I would say we could have easily charged probably in like the 100 to 120 USD range on Kickstarter for Acarios, but hey, that's okay. I see. Hey, lots of people are actually. Let me try a new feature here. I think I can just click on a comment and click show. Look at this. That's fantastic. Tony asking a question that maybe I'll talk about at the end. Yeah. So Mike, your question about or, great news, looking at late April, early May. Yeah, March, April. That's what I've been told. Apparently, the congestion in LAX has kind of been reduced, and so I've been told kind of 4 to 8 weeks, and yeah, hoping for it. So that's the information on shipping, and I realize that I need to do an update for Acarios on Kickstarter. And so I want to do that. A couple other things with Acarios before we're jumping on to Mythwind. What's left on the docket? You may have not seen a whole lot for the app recently. That's just because there's a little bit of work as far as like content goes. I've got to kind of import all the content, and in some ways, it has been kind of pushed because of like the delivery date of the games being pushed. Still hoping to get it kind of secured and ready to go, so that kind of arrives one on one. Um, so that's the app, and then the other kind of piece left on the docket, there's a handful of videos, explanation videos that we want to film um, for all the different points in Acario. So there's a handful of things, and we have kind of broken up the teaching into different snippets. So two things, either looking for someone to film that for me, or we'll kind of go about doing that myself. But there's a few kind of up and coming YouTubers who I like the quality that they're doing, and I might hit up for that. We have a question, yeah, a Carlos question. Mike, hey, do you know if UK copies of SOA will be shipping from a UK hub or Europe? That's a good question. I am positive. I need to double check that, but I'm positive we have a bunch going to Germany, and then I actually think there's a group going to the UK. All we've kind of secured VAT invoices, so we've paid all the VAT fees, and if something comes your way that's unexpected expense outside of that, all you have to do is just email us, and we'll take care of that. Cool. So that's SOA. The future of Acarios is a little bit like, hey, this game, it's been around for a couple years, right? We in March, I think it'll be 2 years. It's basically the start of the pandemic was when Acarios was launched into the world on Kickstarter. And so the hope is that once it's delivered, people love it, and that we sell out of the I think it's like 1,000 or 2,000 copies that are we sell out of the copies that we have left over, and there's demand for a reprint. That's kind of that's my hope, because it's a big game. I think it's great. I want to see life in it. So whether it's just a pure reprint or a reprint and a small expansion, we'll kind of cross that bridge when we get there. But a lot of it is dependent on what the market thinks, what reviewers say, how well it does, and I think it's gonna do great. It's production wise off the charts. Pretty sure the game is fun too, and we can go from there. Cool. Hey, so that's Acarios. Mythwind. Tony asked a question that I'm going to get to in a second. We just wrapped up our alpha playtest results, and actually, I was thinking about, should I share the alpha playtest results? I can share some of it. Can I screen share? I don't even know where it is. But we've been doing a bunch of things. The alpha was a relatively limited playtest, 8 seasons of gameplay, just a farmer and crafter, no event deck, no adventure deck, and it was just real kind of pure mechanics based. We wanted to track how quickly players were progressing, how quickly they were amassing coins, gold, and basically we saw that the progression was a little bit too quick. So we invited 20 people to the playtest. I think like 13 of them completed the playtest, which was fantastic. And it was really, designed for us just to kind of see the system. We have this idea of like 2-week playtest sprints where we kind of do some fast iterations and introduce new kind of features along the way. So in kind of very um, software development style. And 2 weeks might be a little bit too quick for us, after kind of seeing after this first one. But it was great, really good playtest. It's good to kind of see the general gist of things being positive, and the big kind of question marks or concerns were already slated to be fixed and added. So we are doing a beta build, and the plan is to release it this week. The plan was actually to release it today, but I think that might be pushed till tomorrow or Friday. And the reason why we're pushing it is because we're introducing 2 new characters into the beta build. So, in addition to the farmer and crafter, we are also going to be testing the ranger and the innkeeper. So these are kind of newly designed characters. The innkeeper, pretty neat. They have an inn on the right hand side of their player board, and with the inn. Um, they can kind of upgrade, their furniture and equipment and all this stuff, which is kind of cool. Uh, and then they have a set of customers that come in, and they have to kind of like try to satisfy the customer's needs, and it depends on the upgrades that you have built in the inn and all that jazz. And so that's kind of like the inn, and then there's kind of this whole kind of like gossip layer because the innkeeper gets gossip and Babis. We I mentioned well, he's actually in chat. Here it is. Let me show him here. Babis is kind of joining in the team as a game dev, and he's kind of spearheading this innkeeper at the moment. It's really neat, and one of the very cool mechanics that he came up with is that it's this kind of gossip function, right? So the innkeeper obviously gets a bunch of gossip, but what the innkeeper can do with these gossip cards is actually shuffle them into the adventure deck of the adventure deck in Mythwind that anyone can access, and then so someone can actually stumble across these cards and actually get a benefit based off of the gossip card that was added in by the innkeeper. Really neat, really kind of cool, flavorful. Just building out the world in a fun way. So the beta build, yeah, we're doing that. We have like 1 or 2 trunks of our event deck put in. So we've broken the event deck into 5 trunks, story trunks, and so we have that kind of going, which is really neat. And I'm trying to think what else we got in the. So we have the ranger mechanics. Ranger's interesting. I think the ranger might need a little bit more work, but very interesting character. The ranger is like they're in town, kind of getting ready for their expedition, and then they leave town for a set number of days. And it's a little bit like a push your luck mechanic. And so if you think you can do well, you go out for a long time and you see how far you can get in the expedition, then you come back and you go from there. So yeah, the ranger mechanic is built in, and it's neat. So we have our beta build, and that will be like a 2-week test, and then our Charlie build, and the Charlie build is almost, I think it's almost feature complete. We're gonna have all of our characters in the Charlie build. Most of the adventure deck, most of the gold deck. There's gonna be a few things missing. Charlie build, one of our main focuses will be on multiplayer scaling, just make sure that it scales well. And then we have 2 kind of more, we have 5 in total planned, but Delta is going to be hopefully kind of a feature complete test of the game. And so we'll kind of expand that for a little bit larger. But after Delta, there's a question here. Who was it? Was it Tony? Tony. Boom. He had a great question. For Mythwind, will there be a playtesting phase open to all? As I dramatically get a sip of water. The answer is yes, hopefully. It won't be like, you'll have to jump through a couple hoops in the sense of, like, you'll probably have to be on our Discord channel. You have to sign like this little NDA that we have. um, but basically, we do plan on running like a stress test, and so it'd be great to get a couple hundred people playing through several seasons of Mythwind, to really kind of work out the kinks. And so we plan on doing that, for kind of like the fifth build, right? So that's the Echo build is slated on, and we're hoping that's in March. So we have a pretty good development cycle going, and the plan is to kind of have that in March and have all our English files to our printers then as well, I believe, so that we can kind of get the translations going and get the stuff going at the factory. And we've already so our manufacturer Longpack, they're already working. Well, I guess they're not working right now because Chinese New Year, but they've already received all of the 3D files, right, as per the last update, and so they're kind of working through all that, which is cool. Okay, so that's the alpha results, beta build, timeline, timeline. So I think I think potentially there could be a few people who get the game in Q4 2022 this year. But most likely it looks like Q1 at the moment, which we're pushing towards. And the last update you saw that we scaled up our resources are on our team, and two words every game: it's got to be fun, and it's got to be finished. Those are the two kind of guiding lights when it comes to game dev: fun and finished. Okay, so I think that's everything, except everyone's like, um, everyone's everyone's asking about this. When will we hear more about this game called Stone Saga? That's the good question. It won't be right now. Although you can kind of see it a little bit. It won't be right now. Besides, well, I'll share what's on the website. Okay, and you guys can all speculate. Stone Saga is a cooperative survival crafting board game set in a unique, persistent world shaped by your choices. Bum, bum, bum. So, you can see some of the similarities with what we have. We got the persistent element, and it's cooperative. We like our cooperative games. Survival crafting is maybe new genre for us. We'll see. So I'm hoping that we're gonna do like an official announcement next week. I'm gonna bring in the game designers. I'm not designing this game. I had an idea for something, and then it's kind of grown. It's grown since then, and I think you're all going to be really excited, to know who the designers are on the game. We've assembled a pretty crack squad of artists and designers to create, I think, something special, special and new, right? I think everything that we try to do is like special and new. Acarios really was like this opening up of a world for us, right? And it's like crazy amounts of story and beautiful artwork and production values. And Mythwind is really yeah, Mythwind is such a unique game. Still, like, I'm not quite sure how to peg it, but it is cool. I think it's going to scratch a lot of people's itches. Um, it's neat. Mythwind is really neat. I think it's going to have a special place on my shelf. And actually, Jacob 353 asks, do I have a favorite character in Mythwind? It's a good question. I'm like in the range right now. It just changes. I'm kind of like all over the place. Just depending on who I play. I actually think if I was playing Mythwind with like four people, if I was playing with a full table, and most of the time I'll probably just play it with my wife. But if I was playing with a full people, I'd probably want to have like 2 copies so that I could just kind of cycle through characters as I see fit. Or maybe like multi-hand, 2 characters. And not because the game is simple or anything. I just love doing new stuff, right? So, maybe for 20 minutes I play the farmer, and then, 30 minutes play the crafter, and then jump back to the farmer. I really like that. Steven, sorry, man. Can't can't do anything at the moment. You'll have to wait. You have to wait until next week, potentially, or the week after. Okay, I believe that's everything. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we're gonna be making this a weekly occurrence. And so make sure to click subscribe on YouTube. If you're tuning in on Spotify or whatever, make sure that you follow the channel. And, we hope to kind of give you a little sneak peek of our future projects, going forward, but also an update on where we're at. So thanks everyone so much, and hope you have a good one.